Now, getting the Outback Fury ready for the trials, there's a couple of things I'm not happy with, and one of them is this roof rack. If you can see here, it sits up a lot, see? And if you push it down this side, it drags the other down as well. So what I'm thinking is adding a couple of screws to the front and bolting it. Because it's not being funny, if you're going along, you get a branch, get into that, it will just literally go like that. Like I said, why they just didn't have screws at the front, you know, we could have had a couple of mounts, a couple of holes and just 2 screws straight upwards, would have held this really a lot better. So let's get something sorted before I start putting on the handles and the wiper blades. Now on the chassis, a little thing I noticed, I said about it was a bit soft on the left and rear side, and I think I've solved it. The front was okay, that seems pretty good. So what I've done is, there was a large and a small spacer at the front, and I removed the large one to the rear, so it's got large, small, and because of the weight of the battery is in the back, it affects it a little bit, but now a lot better. The other thing I've noticed is the steering. This bit, it's at a terrible angle and it hits. Can you hear that? It's hitting the panhard link. So I think all you got to do is just pull it down. That's a lot better. But it still catches, you know. I don't know where we can get it down a bit. Yeah. That's a bit better. Yeah, the panhard link actually catches, or the steering link catches the other steering link. I can't think of a fix for it. But we'll leave it like that for now. But no, literally take one of the spacers from the front to the rear if you want a bit more on the rear. Now, digging through the spares, these are off an Axial Raw Builders kit. So I found a couple of them, and when you tighten down onto, that is the perfect height. So I'm really pleased with that. So that shows it to be okay. So now it's a case of taking the chance, drilling through and fitting these, and this will hold it square and hold it even. There we go, after a couple of bits of scrap plastic, a couple of bolts which you can barely see, and nuts on the inside with washers. The rack now is solid, it's not going to fall off or get caught, nothing can get under it now, so I'm a lot happy with that. Now we'll look at these wiper blades. I don't expect how they expect these to go on. Because they just don't seem to have any feasible way of fitting them, other than that little pin. So let's find out the size of the pin. 2mm. I think you'll struggle, because it might go 1.5 and then go from there. It's harder to make a hole smaller than larger. They're not the most fantastic looking things, I have to say. Let's take out the 3mm. Get a 1.5. think these are identical. Yeah. All I'm going to do is just over enlarge the hole very slightly that way, and this should push straight in. Yeah, it pushed in very easy. As for securing on the inside, I'm going to heat up the soldering iron and just melt the tip. Hopefully that works. Yeah, the 1.5s seem plenty. I didn't have to really widen it. But what I'm going to do is, I think I've got some double-sided tape. We'll cut a small bit of tape, not too wide. See what that's like. Too much. Cut another bit. And put some tape on the wiper. It's a little bit long, so just a slight trim. Rub it away and hopefully this will peel. There we go. Hold it straight, and that's stuck on, so it's that's not going to flop about or anything. And then, like I said, I will try and melt those tips a little bit. There we go. Cut that one a bit shorter, but it will still do the job. There you go. They're on. Now the door handles. Couple of pinholes required. Pretty certain they're going to be about the same size. They might be a bit bigger, but we'll try with this one a bit. There is some marks on the body. Clear off the excess on the inside. There we go. Repeat the other side. And that's the other handle on. And like I said, nothing to secure them, so that's why I'm going to try the soldering iron method. But you've got to be really careful you don't catch the body. And then this is your spare wheel holder. That can be put to one side. Back in the bag. Now to secure the handles, I've filed the top of my soldering iron so it was nice and clean. And then all you do is hold the handle from the outside and gently lay the iron on. And you'll just hear it hiss and sizzle and just go down a bit. And hopefully it bulges. There we go. That should stop them pulling off. But be really careful, because I've already done one of the wipers. So you just go in and dab it until it goes flat. And there we go. Be careful you don't overdo it. But you can glue them if you want to. I was just trying something a bit different, which I've seen done. But it seems solid. So there we go. Now, let's clear this up where I've been digging. One more thing, getting this ready for the trowel. Put the body on. I will be fitting foam to the body in a sec, so it reduces. But I've got a couple of these 3D printed off. They're simple waffle boards, and I'm going to fit them to the back. You can just about fit them with the light things being clear, so it'll be quite correct looking. So I'm going to paint these up, because I don't think yellow looks right, and we'll get them on. So there we go, the foam has been added to the body and a couple of sandballs bolted permanently to the back. So that's what all I'm going to do for now to it. I don't know what I might do in the future. You know, it's whatever comes to mind. But like I said, I've now on it bolted down the roof rack, added the handles, the wipers, and put these on the back. And the biggest thing I've got to think about is what I'm going to do here. But I might have an idea. But we will see.